And welcome back to the Chicago Bears franchise rebuild. Here today, we're going to be going through all three preseason games, go through the roster, all the additions that we have made throughout the offseason, and then show you guys some of those highlights. And then we'll be getting the team prepared, going through all the getting the roster to the 53-man roster. And then we're going to get ready for the season opener. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. Well, what an eventful off season. We went out there, we drafted ourselves a new starting quarterback. We went out there and brought in a lot of help across the defense. So let's welcome in some of these new players. First of all, 15th overall, we selected Cliff Nicholson out of Washington State, 74 overall. He plays like a 75 due to our coaching staff. I'm excited to see what Nelson can bring to the table. Of course, that this is not a competition. Nelson is the starting quarterback, but I want to see both Nelson and Christian Murray get a majority of the snaps this preseason. They're the two young quarterbacks on the roster, and we want to see who can produce. Jonathan Howard here we traded for from the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't remember the exact details of the trade, but Howard is an excellent elusive back. He looks, he needs to work on, a little bit of power and his catching, but in terms of, change of direction and carry and stuff, I think he's going to be a good back for us, and he will be a fine starter. We also drafted in the second round Pat McLean here, hidden dev tackle, and I think he will be probably the future at right tackle for us. Got to develop him a little bit, so he'll probably be a focus player for a few weeks. Right now he isn't, but he will get some development. As well as on the defensive side of the ball, we welcome in DeMarcus Lawrence here, who is an excellent run stopper with some finesse moves, power rushing as well. Grady Jarrett was the other player that we brought in here to play defensive tackle for us. So we very much boosted this defensive line because we were last place in stopping the run, getting off the field, and I think that our secondary can take the next necessary step. We also drafted Dion Kemp here, hidden dev, 74 overall. I think Kemp here will be an excellent player, but he needs some development, so a year to basically be a rotational pass rusher, I think he can handle that. We're also welcoming in a couple other players like Sky Moore, Derrick Henry, Curtis Samuel. Some of these players I signed after the video ended. Jordan Battles, a new safety we brought in. Also with our first round selection, Danny Reeves we brought in. So a few new faces to take a look at. So throughout this preseason, I'm mainly going to be focusing on the young talent on the roster. And each game might be a little bit different, but we're going to focus heavily on Cliff Nicholson and this offense just to see really how far it can take us. So let's go get into the preseason games. Let's go have some fun. I did do the training camp, so that's all done. So let's go get into week one. Rainy day here in Jacksonville, Florida, as we have some preseason football here. It's Cliff Nicholson versus Trevor Lawrence to start off the preseason for this new campaign for these two teams. I don't know too much about the story of the Jags, but they still have Trevor Lawrence. They have developed a few players, but for us, we're focused in, I think here in the first preseason game, we're going to focus mainly on the first team offense as well as the second team with Cliff Nicholson. I want to see a lot of him today. And here comes the 15th overall selection, number 8, Cliff Nicholson out of Washington State. Nicholson is an excellent mobile quarterback who has a strong arm that can throw the football short. Got to work on his deep accuracy and his medium, but very excited to see what Nicholson can bring to the table here. And this is his first snaps here as a Chicago Bear. We'll start with a run here with our new addition here. Starting running back Jonathan Howard, gain of 3. This offense stayed very much the same out of the off season. You know, only a couple new starters that will make really any significant change here. Howard is the other big addition besides Nicholson. But I'm very excited for this offense here. I think with the weapons that we have, I think Nicholson will be able to take over pretty nicely, as we're going to check it down to. This is his first career pass. We'll get 7 yards. But like I was saying, I think that Nicholson needs to come in here, be the game manager that we know that this team needs. You know, limit his turnovers, limit the mistakes, and then we go from there. I don't expect this offense to be as potent as it was a year ago. I think that this offense just needs to go out there, distribute the football well, get the ball to Moore. I think Howard can handle the running game. I think he can do everything and more than Tyler Algier. But I'm very excited for this season. This is the season now that I feel that we can take this next step, as this play is going to be a sack fumble picked up here by Logan, and that will be a touchdown. And that was Walker who provided the sack fumble, and then Logan here picked it up and rushed it in. Touchdown Jacksonville. Not what you want to see here. Well, the first possession did not go as planned, so let's see what Nicholson can handle in his next possession here. There's definitely certain passes that I want to see if he can connect with, certain little things. Excited to see what he can provide for this offense as he gets this ball to DJ Moore. And that's the thing, you know, if he can distribute this football to these 3 playmakers, you know, Moore, Bush, and Scott, all 3 of them. Well, Scott had 1,000 yards as well as Moore, but all 3 of them should have and could have had 1,000 yards the last campaign. So you have a ton of talent in front of you. What can you really do with it if I'm Nicholson right now? And don't forget players like Jerry Gay and Cash. These are 2 fantastic underneath options that can really help out our offense and will really take this offense to the next level. So Nicholson's coming into almost a picture-perfect situation between having a true legitimate number 1 receiver, players that can get down the field if necessary. Everything is in front of him. So the only really cause for concern is our offensive line, where I do have some worries. But overall, I do think that, you know, if we can just protect Nicholson, get the ball out quickly, we should be okay. And this is one thing that Nicholson can do a lot. He is very good on the run. So bootlegs, play actions, all of that was in our offense a year ago is going to stay, and he's going to really run it to a very high efficiency, I think. So I'm very excited here. And I think we're going to be just fine here with our rookie quarterback. As we enter into Jacksonville territory, now let's do a little commentary. Let's take a deep shot here. One-on-one coverage, Bush. Can he catch it? He can't. Incomplete. Nicholson's in an empty look here at the 33 now. Takes it. He wants Tyler Scott. What a floating pass there. Perfect completion. As Brad is dealing with an injury. He's injury prone. And hopefully this is not a significant injury for him. Let's see, 3rd down and goal. Here we go, end zone. This is caught, touchdown, and that's Kendall Bush. What a job there on 3rd down and goal. Throwing a little fade route to the 6'5" receiver, and I'm excited for his 3rd season. I think in this 3rd year, you're kind of expecting him to take a leap in this campaign. As now here in the beginning of the 2nd quarter, we'll see some backups in. And running back is the last pick of our last draft class, Trent Burke here. I'm very happy and excited to see what Trent can bring to the table. We have a little bit of a battle there for the backup, for the end of the, who's going to be the fourth or fifth running back. Trent's definitely in it, but we have a few starters still out there. Want to give Nicholson some easy opportunities with some players. Also out there is Khalil Herbert right now, number 35. I don't know if that will be his final number, but we'll see. But this is an excellent strike there to Tyler Scott. And so far, Cliff Nicholson has been everything and that we kind of expected him to be. Excellent on the move, excellent passer, you know, efficient. That one fumble for a turnover is really the one blemish right now on the game for him, but I think for Cliff Nicholson right now, he's looking good out there. Very getting kind of excited. Here's a shot. Oh man, we do have a little bit more backups across the offensive line right now. That's the risk that I'm taking, but gotta have some time in the pocket. Pat McLean is out there, number 68. A couple of our backups. 79 is Johnny Derby. As this is, again, Trent not going far. Here comes the third down here from Cliff. Looks to throw, felt the rush, and just could not get that ball. Trent could not get out of there. Doesn't look good for him right now on his first few plays. Well, a low-scoring preseason week here in week 1. It's 17-14, and might as well. Let's go see how Jameis Winston can play. Winston is one of the veteran quarterbacks that we have on this roster. We brought him in here. He had that mentorship tag, and he is trying to lead this comeback here. And we're already in plus territory. Uneventful game here. Christian Murray, though, did not look good. He got most of the third quarter, and he just did not look good. He threw 3 interceptions today. Very much wondering. Well, for starters, I think we made the correct move to draft his replacement, but it's definitely, you know, is Christian Murray a liability to have on the roster right now, as this pass here is just out of reach, but no other quarterback right now is showing that they could be reliable if an injury does occur. Here comes 2nd down and 10 here. Winston trying to prove his doubters wrong. Looks to throw. Got the ball to Hitchinson. And the rookie receiver finds the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Charlie Hitchinson. I believe he was our 6th round selection, I want to say. He's all speed, but he was able to make that reception look easy. And he gets into the end zone, and Chicago takes the lead here. We haven't focused too much on the defense here in the first preseason. In other preseason games, we will. Moving on to game 2 here, the preseason, we'll be playing against the Tennessee Titans, who signed Sam Howell in this past offseason. Howell's a 78 overall quarterback who's developed pretty nicely for the Commanders, but now he's the new starter here in Washington. But this week, we're going to focus primarily on the defense. Not every single starter is out here, especially at the edge rushing position, but we'll get to see the young players across the board here. And this defense has made a lot of changes. This is where a lot of our money went into during this past off season. We went out there, signed, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, as well as Grady Jarrett. We're hoping for big leaps here from players like Grover Dexter, who's entering into year 4 in a contract year. And I've been a big fan of Grover, and I think that he can develop into something nice here at defensive tackle. And I think we've given him a good defensive line to pair up. Here, guys, we'll also see Caleb Demp here, or Deontay Kept, as well as Chuck Gardner, who's providing a little rush here. But this pass is caught here. Good pass there by Howell. The tackle there was Danny Reeves, the other first-round selection in this past draft class. trying to figure out who's going to be the other safety next to CJ Gardner-Johnson, as well as we're trying to figure out who's going to be playing that other defensive tackle's role. This pass is knocked down. A good play there by Chuck Gardner. Of course, when we entered into this past offseason, we wanted to really get established veteran players across the defensive line, and we accomplished that. It's now, can this defense come together and really pair up with this offense that we've put together that has been very good, even with turnovers. Turnovers are the thing as we enter into next year we have to limit, but overall, if our offense and defense can be in sync, I think that we can be a 10+ win type of roster. But here, the Tennessee Titans are driving down the field versus basically a partially our #1 defensive unit. But we're getting a lot of interior rush. Good play here. D'Angelo Martinez with a big time sack. He's more of a run stopper, but he made a good play there. So whoever's this interior, this offensive line here for Tennessee, they're not the best. So maybe hopefully we'll play against them. There's a quick pass outside now, and Mike Gesicki is going to lose a yard. Tremaine Edmonds, he's probably one of the only true veterans that are out there. Jalen Johnson isn't out there. Same with Josh Allen and CJ. So we're seeing a lot of the young players here on this 3rd down and long. Here's a deep shot, and this pass is out of bounds. And we'll see what will happen here. We'll probably be jumping a lot around. I'll try to get to the #2 defense next time, just to talk about some of the backups. Hop back into the action here. We'll get to see another drive here versus this Tennessee offense. Here at the late stages of the first quarter, this pass goes out wide here. Mike Gesicki. This is Dalton Kelly who just made the tackle, number 10. And he's a player that, we're gotta keep an eye out for. Especially with Stevenson's contract ending in this up-and-coming season. Dalton Kelly might be in a position right now where he's going to take over as this pass goes down the field. Caught, touchdown, Traylon Burks. I think this is his second go around here in Tennessee. But right there, he was matched up with Max Cox on one-on-one coverage, and the wheel route just beat him. It was perfect coverage for it. Like I was saying, Dalton Kelly, he could potentially become something for this defense, excuse me. As we've reached now the 4th quarter here in the second preseason, it's a 35-28 ball game. We have a lot more backups out there. There's Bailey, who last year did make a good impression. So far in this game, we've seen a boatload of injuries to some major starters. I don't remember every player, but we're getting to see more of the backups of this defense. Who's standing out? Right now, Dalton Kelly has been, again, 2nd preseason in a row. Same with Danny Reeves. Those two playmakers have been out there making a lot of plays for us. Our defensive line continues to impress me. As here comes a big play here for Knight. Can Bradbury save a touchdown? He's right now projected to be our 4th corner. He was brought in to be more of a mentor for the defense, especially our secondary, but that was a big run there by, I think, their rookie running back, Knight. I don't really know, to be honest. But right now we're seeing who stands out, who can make the 53-man roster, who can really make an impact potentially in games, in games basically. Right now, any notable starters, there really isn't too many. Watkins is out there. Michael McFadden is out there. There's Bradbury. Good coverage there. I want to see if Bradbury can still hold up in coverage, because if he's only out there or only being on the roster for a mentor, he needs to be able to play too and step in case of an injury. As here comes Baker Mayfield here, backup quarterback, plenty of time, only a 3-man rush. Where is the pressure? We have none. He now looks to run it himself, and he will find the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. They will extend on their lead here. But I think that will be it here for the 2nd preseason game. 3rd preseason, there should be a little bit more action. We'll get to see the offense a little bit more, but so far not too bad here today. One last preseason to go. We did lose to the Tennessee Titans pretty badly. They put up a lot of points against us, but we'll be playing now, switching gears here to the last preseason game here versus the New England Patriots. And in today's action here, these highlights, I'm going to give you guys the first two possessions here. So we're going to see the starting offense and the starting defense, projectedly, of course. Kind of get to see all of them, even the veterans. We're going to see everyone. So we'll start off here with the offense. This is Danny Matthews, not really expected to do kick returns, but he's doing them right now. But here comes our first round selection, Cliff Nicholson here. Didn't see him in the last game highlights. He did put up some throws. He's a very efficient quarterback. His accuracies is very well underneath. One thing that we have to work on is his deep ball. One thing though, you guys will see, there is no Jonathan Howard. Howard partially tore his ACL, and he's out for the first couple months of the season. So immediately there is a decision that we might have to make at the end of today's episode if we need a new starting running back throughout this season. Right now we have Khalil Herbert, we have Derrick Henry, BJ Cash. Those are the three notable starters, but we need someone to be the bell cow here, as Khalil Herbert's trying to say, no you don't, you got me. We have a good offense without Jonathan Howard here. But I'm excited to get into year number 4 here with this team. Of course, you guys want to see Nicholson take these steps here, as now we have Khalil Herbert hurt, which is a sight that we don't want to see right now, especially him going back to the locker room. So here's Derrick Henry in the backfield. But I'm excited to get into year number 4 with you guys. You know, I've been thinking about how I want to continue to change up the series, if I'm going to continue adding games to episodes. What I'm thinking that we're going to end up doing is probably we'll have the season opener, and then we'll focus in on some key matchups here and there. And then as this ball is somehow intercepted, what a job. My goodness, I thought DJ would have had an easy completion there. Interceptions will always be in my series because I am terrible at Madden. But you know, the premier type of matchups we'll spend a lot more time focused on, and then we'll focus in some of the other games, we'll focus more on a couple games. Sometimes it will be 3, sometimes there will be 2. But this is Hitchens. This is the rookie quarterback here for the New England Patriots. So we'll now get to see the starting defense in its full throws. So we get to see DeMarcus Lawrence. We get to see Grady Jarrett out there, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jalen Johnson. All of them are playing right now. I don't know how long they'll play for. Probably like the first couple quarter, maybe for the first quarter or so. But this is projectedly what our defense will look like. And I'm excited for this unit here. We have a lot of talent here, and this is the season now where, you know, you go from year 1 when we struggled massively to year 2 where we showed some bright spots, and then year 3 we kind of just finagled our way to get into the postseason. It's now time to take the next necessary step. We invested the money into the defensive line. We have drafted pretty well, in my opinion, and we now have a rookie quarterback here that we're expecting him to be able to take these, you know, projected leaps. You know, of course, it's a hit or a miss when you draft a rookie quarterback and you have a playoff potential team, and you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And for us, we're hoping that it does. You know, it's the same thing in the real NFL with JJ McCarthy going to the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, there's a real possibility he's gonna suck, and then what for Minnesota? For us right now here in our franchise, you know, you could argue put back Christian Murray, but Christian Murray in this preseason has not looked good, and the last few moments of him, when we did see him in the last few episodes, he's not looked great. He has looked pretty bad. So, you know, then you turn to Jameis Winston or Jacoby Brissett, the other 2 quarterbacks on the roster. I don't know. And right now, Cliff Nicholson is throwing interceptions as I was hyping him up last, you know, at least in the beginning of the game last in versus the Titans. He was hitting darts left and right. Now he has 2 interceptions, giving Hitchens here an excellent opportunity to go up by 7 here, starting at their own our own 26. And these are spots where our defense, it's not up to our defense, it's just up to our offense not to make these dumb mental mistakes. And you know, some of it's on me, some of it's on the quarterback himself, and some of it is just on the design play. You know, I think we got to be able to fix some things here, and maybe that's something that we should consider if we don't have a good season this year. You know, firing our 2 coordinators again after year 1 we fired them. They're entering into now their 3rd seasons here. But of course, you know, I'm excited to get into this season. I hope you guys are too. Please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel. You know, I know that these videos can sometimes be long and sometimes be all over the place, but you know, that's why you guys come here, is for my insanity here for football. As New England is able to get 7 here. And I'm gonna try to get us to the 4th quarter-ish. We'll look at this kick return here by Danny Matthews. Let's get into the 4th quarter here with some of the backups here and talk about them, who's impressed and whatnot. As we've made it now to the 4th quarter here in the last preseason game, not as many injuries in today's action, but so far it's been a pretty high scoring affair here. We now have basically all backups in, trying to figure out who the rest will be making of this roster, what roles we're going to carve out for certain players. This is Mac Jones in at quarterback, who just threw it away. It's now 4th down. But we'll get to see a little bit of Christian Murray now. His last action, he broke his foot actually right before the playoff game, so we'll see what he can provide for this offense. Danny Matthews is set to return this punt as Matthews is tackled here at the 36, and here comes Christian Murray, 2nd-year quarterback, picked in the 4th round. Very excited to see what he can develop into, but for right now we'll continue to truck it along with this offense here. Start off with a little play action, as this is Matt Dumb here, who's had also a very good preseason. He's making a case right now to potentially get some more playing time. Of course, some of you guys might be wondering, what are we going to be doing at the running back position? And there's not really a lot to really, you know, to do if you really think about it. You know, we don't have a ton of cap space. We don't have to go out there and try to make a trade for someone, and we don't really have the means to start anyone else. So one of these backs here is going to have to step up in this up and coming, you know, first half of the season, as this is a good sack here. Our defense did get 5 sacks of their own. Happy about that. The starters provided an excellent rush for our defense, but it's a 31-28 ball game, as Murray has a 2 for 2 for 32 yards. That was Harris, who was on our practice squad a year ago, Alex Harris here, and we'll go for it here on 4th down. Why not? So 4th down and 4 here. Murray looks to throw. We'll send it out wide here, and this is Trent Burke here, 7th round rookie running back, as an opportunity to make the roster. He's had his ups and downs. In the first one, he did not look good at all, but last preseason game, he did look pretty okay. Breaking some tackles here, making a case maybe to be one of those backs in the rotation, and that would almost be projectedly, and my expectation would be the kind of the solution to this backfield, is just throw as many bodies as we possibly can and see what sticks. This is Terrell Douglas, 2nd-year undrafted free agent. He makes a good catch here. He's also known to me making good catches out of the backfield, so You know, he could be another player. Number 39, he's in the backfield right now. Here comes Douglas. And Douglas with a good head of speed here, and he's going to set his team up goal to go now. Good hard running right there. Well, if we can find the end zone here, make this game a little bit more interesting. We'll see. Here comes first down and goal here from the 1. We'll bring out the jumbo package. Trent's the back, but we'll hand it off to the fullback, and this is Cam Richardson who will find the end zone. I saw the name Murray, and I thought Christian got hurt again, but we'll take the lead here in the last stages of the 4th quarter. Well, with 2 minutes to go here in the last preseason game, we're going to be getting the football back. Probably backed up here. Unless we can get a return, we can't. So we'll start at our own 26-yard line, not really backed up. Can Christian Murray lead us to our, I believe, 2nd playoff or preseason victory? For whatever reason, thinking playoffs. As we'll start with a screen pass, and that time had no time to develop here. But we'll see if Murray can orchestrate something here with the backups now. 2nd down and 10 here for Murray. A minute 54 to go. Looks to throw. Wants Harris, and that pass is just off the mark. Murray has now missed the last 4 attempts. He has been struggling. You know, Christian right now, he has a lot to do. We'll see what he can do here on 3rd down, and we'll make it a 4th down and 5 here. So much easier to manage here on 4th down and 5 than anything. And here we go. This is the last preseason snap here if we can't get this. Murray in the shotgun, takes the snap, he looks to throw, felt the rush, breaks the tackle, sack, fumble, picked up here by New England. And Christian Murray, he has struggled here in the preseason. And that will just about do it here in the preseason action. I believe we went 1-2, either 1-2 or 0-3. You know, in a ball game where we lose 35 or 38-35, you know, our offense, they did their job. Turnovers are still a major question mark as we enter into when the games really matter. Again, we got to see the 2 young quarterbacks play a lot. Cliff, 3 interceptions. Some of them were not his fault. Some of them have just got to develop him. The running back position is a major question mark, but I think BJ Cash proved that he could probably be the starter. We did rush for 4 touchdowns, and DJ Moore, he ate today. He had a good day. And defensively, Jermaine Edmonds and Josh Allen each got 2 sacks, and Tyler Chapman was involved as well. So let's go make this roster into the 53-man roster, and then we'll look at our first week 1 game. So we put down we cut down the roster to the 53-man. Not really too many surprises. I mean, D'Angelo Groves, who did make some starts last year, he's moving to the practice squad. Nick here, he was an outstanding rookie or an undrafted player, not outstanding, but he's been on the roster for a few seasons. Wolf has been moved to the practice squad. Not too many major decisions or choices. Bailey has been moved to the practice squad as well. Curtis Samuel was cut. He just didn't make the roster. A couple rookies couldn't make it. And all of these edits here are to uniforms. So overall wise, I mean, we got this roster down to the 53-man. But we do have some injuries to report on here. Spencer Bradford, who we brought in for a 1-year deal, he's actually going to be out for the rest of the season. He was supposed to be our 6th offensive lineman, the primarily backup guard, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. And Kerry McKinney here, this is a decision to be made because McKinney here, he's a raw talent. He very much relies on his finesse rushing. But I was hoping to put him onto the practice squad, but he's out for the next week. And I think just for simplicity, Kerry will go to the injured reserve list. Jonathan Howard will be missing the next 4 weeks. We now have 2 roster spots open because of putting 2 players on injury reserve. But running back is a major question mark. Jonathan, is going to be missed here in his first season as a Bear. But we open up the season here versus the Detroit Lions. So that will be the first episode. We'll go through the Lions game. It's the first week of the camp, or the new season. Very excited for it. I'll do all the hiring of the scouting, keep it auto-generated draft class. Let's just take a quick sneak peek here on what the class's strength. Top 2 players here are quarterbacks. And then we have some edge rushers, a wide receiver, another quarterback. Quarterbacks in this class, there's 3 projected to go in the top or in the first round, and then 1 in the second, and then rest day 3. So not a quarterback strong class, but it might be. We'll learn this class very quickly, or as quickly as I possibly can for you guys. So stay tuned to that. I'm very excited to get into year number 4. I hope you guys like the preseason, kind of how I set it up. First one was for the offense. Second one was for the defense. Sorry, I didn't go through scout or the stats. I kind of accidentally simmed too quickly. And then the last one we went through a little bit of everything. So I hope you guys kind of liked how I designed this episode. Please leave a like on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in opening day in Detroit.